Aloha and good morning. My name is Bailey Hutton with the Margolis Team and eXp Realty. My hope for today's short video is to educate buyers on the importance of shopping for a mortgage and the advantages of working with a mortgage broker as opposed to working with a big bank. To help me make that point, I've asked Blaze Zielman, a local lender with Island Pacific Mortgage here on the island of Kauai, to join me.
Hi, everyone, and I'm excited to be on the call today. Thank you for having me, Bailey.
Awesome. Let's dive in. Again, it's going to be a short video, but I just want to kind of fire some questions at you, Blaze. So, Blaze, what are some of the key differences between the service and options you provide versus kind of a financial institution like a bank?
Great question. So, the big difference is, as a independent mortgage broker, we don't offer car loans. We don't sell stocks or provide checking or savings accounts. We do one thing, and we are mortgage specialists. And the benefit to working with a mortgage specialist like myself, I'd say there's two main benefits. The first is specialized service. For example, we like to offer personalized service to our clients with customized loan solutions, and we really try to make the loan process as seamless and pain-free as possible. So the next big point, or second big difference, is we shop for great deals on mortgages from dozens of different lenders. If you went to a bank, for example, you're probably limited to what their loan offerings are. Whereas if you work with a mortgage broker, we can shop rates from that bank and dozens of other banks to get you the best deal on your mortgage. So some things that a lot of my clients really find value in is our ability to find low rates, flexible down payment options, specialized loan solutions that maybe the banks don't offer. And we also have access to loans and interest rates that are only available to brokers. So it's just a bit of a different experience overall working with us from a service perspective and from the ability to save you money by shopping for the best rates and loan programs.
Perfect. Thank you. That's a lot of information. All that was great. Another question I have, and this is sort of me communicating through clients that I'm interacting with, but a lot of people feel that mortgage brokers will just provide sort of the same interest rates that a bank will provide. Can you sort of speak to that or dispel that myth, if you will?
Yeah, sure. And you're absolutely right. We may provide the same rate a bank would offer, but the difference is we have a lot more options than the banks will, and we may have the same rates that they would offer if you would prefer to work with your local bank. For example, we do broker loans to Bank of Hawaii and First Hawaiian Bank. So if you have a relationship with your bank and you'd like to keep the loan servicing there, I totally understand that, and we can accommodate that for you. Or if you wanted to shop around for other deals that are out there, we can do that too. I'll give you an example that I give to a lot of my clients, and it's the example that if you were to book airline travel, if you were to take a trip to, say, Las Vegas, and you wanted to book a flight, you could go through one airline and look at what options they have available. For example, if you wanted to book a trip to Vegas, you can go through Delta and they would give you their options. With working with a mortgage broker, we're more like a kayak.com, where if you put in a trip to Las Vegas, you're going to get lots of different options. And the benefit to that is you may save money, you may have a more beneficial flight time or airport that you'd like to go through. And that's a good way to think about it, where you're just opening yourself to a lot more options to get the best deal for your circumstance.
Awesome. Thank you. Another question: with all the services you provide, the amount of time you spend shopping, comparing different programs to other programs, it's pretty easy for me to assume that it's going to be more expensive to get a loan through you as opposed to getting a loan with, the bank I've had for 20 years and I've already had an account with them. Is that accurate, or are you going to be more expensive than my local bank would be?
Yeah, thank you for asking. And the truth is, we are not more expensive than most banks. And typically, we are paid directly by the lenders. So it would not be more expensive to work with a mortgage broker as opposed to working with your bank.
Awesome. Thank you. I want to throw in my 2 cents just from being a real estate agent on Kauai, and the pros of working with a mortgage broker versus a bank is it's so much easier for me to communicate with someone like Blaze. Not only in just the shopping period when we're shopping for homes. More recently, earlier this year, a lot of sellers require like a pre-qualification or a pre-approval letter. And sometimes they'll even ask for that pre-approval letter, that pre-qual letter to be about a specific property or a specific purchase price. It's so much easier for me to sort of meet the needs of that particular listing, having a direct dialogue with a mortgage broker like Blaze, because it's pretty simple for me to just text him or call him. I can be on the road with a client and say, hey, it's kind of last minute, but we want to see this, but they need a pre-approval letter. And more often than not, Blaze can draft that and send that to me. And it makes at least the shopping process a lot easier. But not just that, beyond that, once we get into escrow, there's at least 3 main financial contingencies that have to be met. The pre-approval letter is one of them. There's a conditional loan approval, and then there's a final loan approval. Now, Blaze will vet you, and you'll have a much better understanding after you talk to him of whether you're meeting those contingencies. But sometimes things happen that are outside of both Blaze and mine control, as far as maybe the property needs to get appraised and the appraisal report was late, etc. I've found that all of those kind of hurdles, those particular issues, or even if a file just kind of gets caught up in underwriting, which is not necessarily Blaze's department, someone else has to underwrite that loan. When you work with a mortgage broker, they can convey so much more information about where your loan is at in the process, which is good just to be informed. But at the same time, you can turn around and provide that information to the seller, which kind of calms them down. For instance, if something did come up with the appraisal report, we need to extend closing. A lot of sellers will start getting cold feet. Oh, maybe they're not approved. Maybe we need to back up. And having someone like Blaze there to just convey an enormous amount of reassurance. It's nothing to do with the buyer's credibility. This was due to the appraiser, or this is due to sort of underwriting needing these things that we didn't predict they needed. Streamlining that whole process makes the escrow closing so much smoother. So again, I just have to convey, I think it's the most responsible choice that a buyer can make is to at least shop around. And the best way to shop around for a mortgage is with a mortgage broker, not necessarily your local bank. Blaze, I can't thank you enough for joining me today to sort of help provide this educational stuff. I have one last question. If someone's interested in shopping with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you or to get started?
Sure, they can give me a phone call or an email. We also have a link to our online application on our website, islandpacificmortgage.com. And I look forward to talking with anybody who's interested in learning more about mortgages. Thanks so much for having me, Bailey.
Thanks again, Blaze. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.